Someone you love has passed away and left this. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and if your breath caught or your chest tightened the moment you read that title, your heart needs this right now because that reaction wasn't coincidence, it was recognition. And listen closely because something you've been carrying quietly, maybe without words, maybe without even realizing it, is being acknowledged right now by the universe itself. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because when someone we love passes away, the world tells us they are gone, but the soul knows something different. The soul knows that love does not vanish, it transfers. And your heart needs this right now because you've been feeling them in the quiet moments, in the pauses between thoughts, in the way certain memories surface without warning. And listen to this truth, those moments are not your imagination, they are echoes of a bond that didn't end when life did. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because what they left behind is not something you can hold in your hands, it's something that lives inside you. Something activated the moment they left this physical world, and your heart needs this right now because grief has been trying to convince you that you lost something, when in reality something was entrusted to you. And listen carefully, because the universe often uses loss to awaken parts of us that were dormant. And don't scroll, listen to this, because since they passed, you may have noticed changes in yourself, deeper emotions, heightened intuition, a sensitivity to energy, to people, to truth, and your heart needs this right now because that sensitivity is not weakness, it's awakening. And listen closely, because when a soulmate-level connection leaves the physical plane, they don't leave silence, they leave guidance, protection, and a thread that continues to pull you toward who you're meant to become. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because the reason you still feel them is because they are still working with you, not against you, not haunting you, but strengthening you in ways you don't yet fully understand. And your heart needs this right now because you may have been questioning your own sanity, asking yourself why you feel them near, why certain signs keep appearing. And listen to this truth, the universe speaks in symbols when words would be too heavy. And don't scroll, listen to this. Because angel numbers like 1111 showing up when you think of them are not random. 11 is alignment between worlds, a reminder that love exists beyond time. 222 appearing when you feel unsure is reassurance that you are not alone in this process. And 444 showing up when you're overwhelmed is protection. A signal that you are being held even when it feels like you're barely holding on. And your heart needs this right now because these signs are not meant to pull you into the past. They are meant to steady you in the present. And listen carefully, because what they left behind is permission. Permission for you to live fully without guilt, permission to laugh again, to love again, to move forward without feeling like you're betraying their memory. And don't scroll, listen to this, because many people stay stuck in grief because they confuse remembrance with suffering. And your heart needs this right now because remembrance does not require pain, it requires presence. And listen closely, because the bond you shared was not meant to trap you in sorrow, it was meant to carry you into deeper understanding of love. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may have felt a strange push lately, a quiet nudge toward change, toward purpose, toward something new that scares you and comforts you at the same time. And your heart needs this right now because that nudge is not random, it is part of what they left behind, an energetic encouragement to not shrink, not settle, not stop living just because they are no longer physically here. And listen carefully. Because soulmate connections do not end, they evolve. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you might still be searching for meaning in the pain, asking why it had to happen this way. And your heart needs this right now because meaning doesn't always explain itself immediately. Sometimes it reveals itself slowly as strength, as clarity, as compassion you didn't have before, and listen closely, because since they passed, you may have become more honest with yourself, less tolerant of what drains you, more aware of what truly matters. And don't scroll, listen to this, because those changes are not accidents, they are inheritance, and your heart needs this right now because what they left you is not sorrow, it's depth. And listen carefully, because depth allows you to love more authentically, to recognize soulmate energy more clearly, to feel connection beyond surface-level interactions. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe does not take someone from your life without leaving you equipped to carry what comes next. And your heart needs this right now because part of you is afraid that moving forward means losing them completely. And listen to this truth, moving forward is how you honor what they left inside you. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may have felt them in dreams, in sudden warmth, in moments of peace that arrive without reason. And your heart needs this right now because those are not tricks of the mind, they are comfort arriving in a language deeper than words. And listen closely, because what they left behind is also protection, moments where you avoided something harmful without knowing why, times when you felt guided away from the wrong path. And don't scroll, listen to this, because love does not stop protecting when the body is gone, it simply changes how it does it. And your heart needs this right now because you are not meant to walk this next chapter alone, even if it feels lonely at times. And listen carefully, because the universe is surrounding you with signs, timing, and inner strength to remind you that you are supported. And don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is not here to reopen wounds, it's here to soften them, to help you understand that grief and awakening often walk hand in hand. And your heart needs this right now because awakening can feel isolating when it starts through loss. And listen closely, because what they left behind is also a calling, a quiet push toward purpose, toward love, toward living in a way that feels truer than before. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the reason this message feels heavy and comforting at the same time is because truth does that, it settles where denial used to live. And your heart needs this right now because you are not broken by this loss, you are being reshaped. And listen carefully, because reshaping is painful, but it creates space for a deeper connection with yourself, with others, and with the universe. And don't scroll, listen to this, because this is not the end of what they left you, it's the beginning of understanding it. And your heart needs this right now because the story is still unfolding, not in the past, but through you. And listen closely, because what they left behind is you becoming more you, more awake, more aligned, more capable of recognizing love in all its forms. And don't scroll, listen to this, because this part ends here on purpose, not to leave you hanging, but to let this truth settle gently into your spirit, the truth that love does not leave empty-handed, and neither did they. And your heart needs this right now to know that what was left behind will reveal itself more clearly with time, through signs, through growth, through moments of peace that arrive when you least expect them. And listen closely, because this is only the beginning of what you are meant to understand. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you. And if you came back for this part, your heart needs this right now because this is where the universe gently lifts the veil and lets you feel what couldn't be explained before. And listen closely because what they left behind is still active, still moving, still guiding you in ways that don't shout but surround. And don't scroll, listen to this, because after they passed you may have noticed moments that felt oddly timed. Thinking of them right before a song plays, seeing a feather or a familiar symbol at the exact moment you needed comfort, feeling a calm wash over you in the middle of grief. And your heart needs this right now because those moments weren't accidents. They were confirmations that love does not disappear, it reorganizes itself around you. And listen carefully, because what they left behind is not just memory, it's presence, not the kind that traps you in the past, but the kind that nudges you forward when you're afraid to move. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe often speaks louder after loss. Not to hurt you, but to help you translate what the heart already knows. And your heart needs this right now because you've been wondering if it's okay to trust those sensations, those signs, those sudden waves of peace. And listen to this truth, intuition sharpens through grief because the soul becomes more awake, more sensitive to what is real and what is noise. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may have been seeing angel numbers more frequently since they passed. 11. 11 when you're deep in thought, 222 when you question whether you're strong enough to keep going, 444 when you feel protected in moments of despair. And your heart needs this right now because those numbers are not meant to pull you backward into sadness, they are meant to anchor you in reassurance. And listen carefully, because 11 is alignment, a reminder that the bond you shared exists beyond time. 222 is balance, letting you know that even in grief, your life is being held steady. And 444 is protection, a sign that you are not walking this path unsupported, even when it feels lonely. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a mirror, reflecting back to you who you are becoming through this loss. And your heart needs this right now because grief changes people, but not always in the ways we expect. And listen closely, because you may have noticed that you are less tolerant of shallow connections now, more sensitive to truth, more drawn to meaning. And don't scroll, listen to this, because those changes are not random, they are part of the inheritance they left you, an invitation to live more honestly, love more intentionally, and choose what truly matters. And your heart needs this right now because part of you may feel guilty for changing, as if evolving means leaving them behind. And listen to this truth, evolving is how you carry them forward, not how you abandon them. And don't scroll, listen to this, because love that was real does not demand you stay frozen in pain to prove its existence, it wants you to grow, to heal, to keep living. And your heart needs this right now because you've been holding on to grief as if letting it soften would erase the bond. And listen carefully, because bonds like this don't need suffering to survive, they need remembrance and purpose. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a quiet courage, moments when you chose to get up even when you didn't want to, when you spoke their name out loud without breaking, when you allowed yourself to feel joy again without immediately feeling shame. And your heart needs this right now because those moments matter, they are proof that love is still working through you. And listen closely, because soulmate-level connections often leave behind a heightened awareness of destiny, a feeling that life is not random, that meetings and endings have meaning. And don't scroll, listen to this, because since they passed you may feel drawn toward purpose in a way you didn't before, questioning what you're meant to do with your time, your heart, your gifts. And your heart needs this right now because that questioning is not confusion, it's awakening. And listen carefully, because awakening through loss is one of the hardest paths, but it creates depth that cannot be taught any other way. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also protection from settling, from ignoring red flags, from living small just to feel safe. And your heart needs this right now because grief has taught you the cost of unspoken love, of wasted time, of not choosing what matters. And listen closely, because the universe often uses loss to sharpen our discernment, to help us recognize soulmate energy when it appears again, not as replacement, but as continuation. And don't scroll, listen to this, because loving again does not betray the love you lost, it honors it by proving that your heart is still capable, and your heart needs this right now because part of you fears that opening up again will reopen the wound. And listen to this truth, wounds heal by circulating life, not by sealing the heart shut. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also permission to trust life again, even if trust feels fragile, and your heart needs this right now because fragility does not mean weakness, it means your heart is alive. And listen carefully, because you may have felt them urging you forward in subtle ways, a sense of encouragement when you were about to give up, a quiet voice reminding you to keep going. And don't scroll, listen to this, because love continues to guide when words are no longer possible. And your heart needs this right now because guidance doesn't always come as direction. Sometimes it comes as reassurance, and listen closely, because reassurance is what the universe is offering you now, reassurance that you are not broken by this loss, you are being shaped by it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because shaping can feel uncomfortable, disorienting, even lonely, but it creates strength that will support future love, future purpose, future peace. And your heart needs this right now because peace may feel distant, but it is already weaving itself into your life in quiet moments. And listen carefully, because this message is not here to rush your healing, it's here to remind you that healing is already happening, even on days when it doesn't feel like it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe measures healing differently than we do. It measures it in breath returned, in laughter that sneaks up on you, in hope that shows up without being invited. And your heart needs this right now because hope can feel disloyal after loss. And listen to this truth, hope is not betrayal, it's continuation. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a promise, not spoken but felt, that you are meant to live fully, not cautiously, to love deeply, not guardedly. And your heart needs this right now because living fully is the bravest way to honor someone you've lost. And listen closely, because this part ends here not to leave you empty, but to let this truth settle gently, the truth that you are still connected, still guided, still loved, and what was left behind is not a burden you must carry alone, but a strength that will reveal itself more clearly as you keep moving forward, one breath, one sign, one moment at a time. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and if you're still here your heart needs this right now because this is the part where the universe speaks not to your mind, but directly to that quiet place inside you that has been carrying grief, love, and unanswered questions all at once. And listen closely because what they left behind is beginning to activate in a new way, not as pain, not as heaviness, but as guidance. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may have noticed lately that the grief no longer hits the same way it once did. It still exists, but it has changed shape, softened at the edges, and your heart needs this right now because that shift is not you moving on, it's you integrating what they left inside you. And listen carefully, because integration is when loss stops feeling like something that happened to you and starts feeling like something that shaped you for something. And don't scroll, listen to this, because since they passed you may have felt more sensitive to energy, more aware of timing, more conscious of who feels safe and who doesn't. And your heart needs this right now because that awareness is part of the legacy they left behind, a deeper discernment that protects you as you continue forward. And listen closely, because love that ends in the physical world often continues as intuition, the kind that nudges you away from harm, pulls you toward truth, and reminds you of your own strength when you forget it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may have felt moments where you almost heard them, not in words, but in knowing when to stop, when to go, when to rest, when to try again, and your heart needs this right now because that knowing is not imagination, it's connection expressed through awareness. And listen carefully, because the universe does not allow soulmate-level love to disappear without purpose. It transforms it into something that can still serve you. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also courage, the kind that shows up quietly, not as boldness, but as persistence, the ability to keep choosing life even when part of your heart feels bruised, and your heart needs this right now because you may not see yourself as courageous, but every day you continue living, loving, and breathing with this loss is proof that you are. And listen closely, because grief has a way of opening spiritual doors, doors you didn't ask to walk through but now find yourself standing in front of, questioning the meaning of life, connection, destiny, and love. And don't scroll, listen to this, because questioning does not mean losing faith, it means faith is deepening. And your heart needs this right now because deeper faith often feels quieter, less certain, but more honest. And listen carefully, because since they passed you may have noticed moments of uncanny timing. Meeting the right person at the right moment, hearing the exact words you needed unexpectedly, and your heart needs this right now because these moments are not coincidence, they are alignment. The universe gently guiding you forward while honoring where you've been. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also permission to feel joy again without guilt, to experience laughter without apology, to build a future without erasing the past. And your heart needs this right now because guilt can quietly keep you stuck, convincing you that happiness somehow betrays love. And listen to this truth, love does not demand suffering to prove its depth, it wants you whole, alive, and fulfilled. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may still talk to them in your thoughts, in your prayers, in moments of need, and your heart needs this right now because those conversations are not pointless, they are grounding, they help you feel connected to something larger than loss. And listen closely, because what they left behind is also an expanded sense of empathy, the way you now notice other people's pain more quickly, the way you hold space differently, the way your heart opens when others are hurting. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that empathy is not meant to weigh you down, it's meant to connect you more deeply to the world. And your heart needs this right now because connection is what heals isolation. And listen carefully, because soulmate energy does not disappear, it recirculates, showing up in new forms, new relationships, new moments of recognition that feel strangely familiar. And don't scroll, listen to this, because loving again does not replace the love you lost, it expands the space your heart is capable of holding. And your heart needs this right now because fear of replacement can keep you closed. And listen to this truth, no one replaces a soulmate, they stand beside the space that soulmate helped create. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a reminder that time is sacred, that words matter, that love expressed is love multiplied. And your heart needs this right now because loss has a way of clarifying what truly matters. And listen closely, because since they passed you may feel less patient with what drains you, less willing to postpone joy, less interested in living half-heartedly. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that urgency is not anxiety, it's awakening. And your heart needs this right now because awakening often feels uncomfortable at first, like shedding an old skin. And listen carefully, because shedding is necessary for growth. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a quiet resilience, moments where you surprise yourself by handling things you once thought would break you. and your heart needs this right now because resilience does not mean you stopped hurting. It means you learned how to carry pain without letting it define you. And listen closely, because the universe honors resilience by opening new paths, new connections, new understandings when you least expect them. And don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is not asking you to rush healing, to be over it, or to pretend the loss didn't change you. It's acknowledging that you are different now, deeper, wiser, more awake, and your heart needs this right now because being different does not mean being damaged, it means being transformed. And listen carefully, because transformation often comes with moments of loneliness, when others don't understand the version of you that emerged from grief. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you are not alone in that. The universe walks closely with those who have loved deeply and lost profoundly, and your heart needs this right now because you may feel like no one truly understands what you carry. And listen to this truth, what you carry is sacred, and it deserves patience, gentleness, and respect, especially from yourself. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also trust in yourself, trust that you can survive heartbreak, trust that you can love again, trust that life still has meaning even after unimaginable loss. And your heart needs this right now because trust is rebuilt slowly. And listen closely, because every step you take forward, even hesitant ones, is trust in motion. And don't scroll, listen to this, because this part ends here not to leave you unfinished, but to let this truth land softly, the truth that what they left behind is not just something you carry, it is something that carries you, guiding you through grief, toward purpose, toward love, toward a future that honors the past without being trapped in it. And your heart needs this right now to know that you are not lost, you are becoming, and what was left behind will continue revealing itself gently as you keep walking forward, one breath, one sign, one moment at a time. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you. And if you're still here, your heart needs this right now because this is where the universe begins to confirm what you've been feeling but couldn't explain. And listen closely, because what they left behind is not fading, it's activating in a deeper, more intentional way. And don't scroll, listen to this, because after deep loss, the universe often speaks in numbers when words would be too heavy. And if you've been seeing 11, understand this clearly. 1111 is alignment across worlds. It's the moment when the veil feels thin, when love recognizes love even beyond time. And your heart needs this right now because 11 has likely appeared when you were thinking of them without sadness, just presence, and that matters. And listen carefully, because 222 has been showing up when you question whether you're healing the right way. And 222 is balance, the universe telling you there is no wrong pace for grief, no timeline for love, no rulebook for how long a heart needs to integrate loss. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 444 has appeared when you felt overwhelmed, tired, or emotionally exposed. And 444 is protection, not protection from pain, but protection through pain, the universe reminding you that you are not collapsing, you are being supported even when you feel fragile. And your heart needs this right now because support doesn't always look like relief, sometimes it looks like strength you didn't know you had. And listen closely, because 333 may have surfaced during moments of emotional release, tears that came unexpectedly, or moments of gratitude mixed with grief. And 333 is divine companionship, the sign that you are not walking this path alone even when the person you loved is no longer physically here. And don't scroll, listen to this, because companionship does not end at death, it changes form. And your heart needs this right now because you may still feel them near, not constantly, but in waves, in timing, in the way certain thoughts arrive exactly when you need reassurance, and listen carefully, because 555 may have appeared when you thought about how much you've changed since they passed, and 555 is transformation, the universe acknowledging that you are not the same person you were before this loss, and that's not something to fear, it's something to honor. And don't scroll, listen to this, because transformation through grief is one of the most profound spiritual awakenings a human can experience. And your heart needs this right now because awakening does not feel magical at first, it feels disorienting, lonely, and heavy, and listen closely. Because 666 may have shown up when your mind spiraled, when fear whispered that you're imagining signs or clinging to hope to avoid pain, and 666 is recalibration, the universe gently pulling your thoughts back into alignment, reminding you that fear does not get to interpret love. And don't scroll, listen to this, because love speaks a different language than fear. And your heart needs this right now because fear tries to make grief logical, while love allows it to be meaningful. And listen carefully, because 777 has likely appeared quietly, maybe once, maybe twice, and 777 is divine completion and reassurance, not that the relationship is over, but that the bond has settled into its eternal form, no longer tied to physical presence, but anchored in spirit. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 777 is the universe saying, what mattered is secure, and your heart needs this right now because you've been afraid that time will erase them. And listen to this truth, time does not erase love, it refines how it's carried. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 888 may have appeared when you reflected on purpose, legacy, or what you're meant to do with your life now, and 888 is continuation, abundance of meaning, the universe saying, this is not where the story ends, and your heart needs this right now because endings can feel like full stops when they are actually commas. And listen closely, because 999 may have shown up when you felt ready to release some of the weight you've been carrying, and 999 is completion of suffering, not completion of love. And don't scroll, listen to this, because releasing suffering does not dishonor the bond, it honors it by allowing love to breathe again. And your heart needs this right now because you may have been holding on to pain as proof that the love was real. And listen to this truth, love does not require pain to validate it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a spiritual sensitivity that allows you to feel guidance more clearly now, moments where you know what to do without overthinking, moments where you avoid harm without explanation, moments where peace shows up unexpectedly. And your heart needs this right now because guidance often replaces physical presence after loss. And listen carefully, because the universe uses your heightened awareness to continue walking with you. And don't scroll, listen to this, because soulmate level connections do not end, they anchoring values, clarity, courage, and purpose inside you. And your heart needs this right now because you may feel different from people who haven't experienced this kind of loss, less patient with shallow conversations, more drawn to depth, meaning, and truth. And listen closely, because that difference is not isolation, it's evolution. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a quiet reminder to live fully, to speak love while you can, to choose what matters without postponement. And your heart needs this right now because grief teaches urgency without panic, purpose without pressure, and love without illusion. And listen carefully, because the universe does not awaken hearts without intention, and your heart has been awakened through loss not to punish you, but to prepare you. And don't scroll, listen to this, because prepare you for deeper love, stronger boundaries, clearer recognition of soulmate energy when it appears again, and your heart needs this right now because loving again does not erase the love you lost, it proves that love multiplied inside you, and listen closely, because this message is not telling you that healing will be easy or linear, it's telling you that healing is already happening, even on days when it feels heavy, and don't scroll, listen to this, because the divine numbers you're seeing are not pushing you to move on. They are reassuring you that you are being held exactly where you are, and your heart needs this right now because being held is sometimes all a soul needs to keep going, and listen carefully, because what they left behind is not a void, it's a thread, a connection that continues to guide you toward meaning, toward love, toward a life that honors what was without being trapped by it, and don't scroll, listen to this. Because this part ends not with closure, but with grounding, the grounding truth that you are not broken by this loss. You are becoming more aware, more compassionate, more aligned with who you truly are, and your heart needs this right now because awareness is the bridge between grief and purpose, and what they left behind will continue to reveal itself through signs, timing, and quiet moments of peace as you keep moving forward, one breath, one number, one gentle confirmation at a time. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and if you are still here your heart needs this right now because this is the moment where everything you felt but couldn't explain begins to settle instead of hurt, and listen closely because what they left behind is not something loud or dramatic. It's something steady, protective, and quietly guiding you forward even when you feel unsure, and don't scroll, listen to this. Because after deep loss the universe doesn't rush healing, it layers it, gently, patiently, in ways that only your soul can fully recognize, and your heart needs this right now because you may have been wondering why certain signs keep appearing long after the initial grief faded. And listen carefully, because those signs are not reminders of pain, they are confirmations of connection, and don't scroll, listen to this, because if 11 keeps showing up when you think of them or when you're alone with your thoughts, that is alignment between love and memory, the universe reminding you that the bond did not break when the body left, it shifted into awareness. And your heart needs this right now because awareness feels quieter than presence, and quiet can feel like absence when you're hurting, and listen closely, because 222 has likely appeared when you questioned whether you're healing too fast or too slow, and 222 is balance, reassurance that there is no correct pace for grief, no timeline for love, no expiration date on remembrance, and don't scroll, listen to this, because 333 may have surfaced during emotional release, when tears came unexpectedly or gratitude mixed with sadness, and 333 is divine companionship, a reminder that you are not alone in this process even when it feels deeply personal. And your heart needs this right now because loneliness after loss can feel heavier than grief itself, and listen carefully, because 444 has likely shown up when you felt overwhelmed but didn't fall apart, when you handled something you once thought would break you, and 444 is protection, confirmation that you are being held steady even when your emotions fluctuate, and don't scroll, listen to this. Because strength does not mean the absence of pain, it means the presence of support. And your heart needs this right now because you've been stronger than you give yourself credit for, and listen closely, because 555 may have appeared when you realized how much you've changed since they passed, and 555 is transformation, the universe acknowledging that this loss reshaped you, not into someone weaker, but into someone more awake, more intentional, more honest about what matters, and don't scroll, listen to this, because awakening through loss is not gentle, but it is meaningful. And your heart needs this right now because meaning helps pain soften into wisdom, and listen carefully. Because 666 may have shown up when fear crept in, when you worried that you're imagining signs or clinging to hope, and 666 is recalibration, the universe gently redirecting your thoughts back into trust, reminding you that fear does not get to define connection. And don't scroll, listen to this, because fear speaks loudly, but love speaks steadily. And your heart needs this right now because steadiness is what carries you forward, and listen closely, because 777 is the number that seals this entire message, and 777 appears when something is spiritually complete and secure, when a bond no longer needs proof or validation. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 777 is reassurance that what you shared is not dissolving with time, it is settled, safe, and eternal in the way only love can be. And your heart needs this right now because you may fear that memories will fade or that time will erase them, and listen to this truth: time does not erase love, it integrates it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 888 may have appeared when you thought about purpose, legacy, or what you're meant to do now, and 888 is continuation, the universe saying that this chapter did not end your story, it expanded it. And your heart needs this right now because expansion can feel scary when you're still carrying grief. And listen carefully, because 999 may have shown up when you felt ready to release some of the heaviness, and 999 is completion of suffering, not of love. And don't scroll, listen to this, because releasing suffering does not dishonor the bond, it honors it by allowing love to breathe again. And your heart needs this right now because you may have been holding on to pain as proof that the love was real. And listen to this truth: love does not require pain to validate it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a quiet guidance system, moments when you instinctively avoid harm, choose differently, or sense when something isn't aligned. And your heart needs this right now because that guidance did not come from nowhere, it was sharpened through love and loss. And listen closely, because soulmate-level connections often leave behind heightened intuition, a deeper awareness of energy, truth, and timing. And don't scroll, listen to this, because that awareness is meant to protect you as you move forward, not isolate you. And your heart needs this right now because you may feel different from people around you, less interested in surface-level living, more drawn to depth, meaning, and honesty. And listen carefully, because that difference is not distance, it's growth. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also courage, not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that keeps you showing up for life even when part of your heart feels tender. And your heart needs this right now because courage after loss looks like living without guarantees, loving without certainty, and trusting without control. And listen closely, because the universe honors that courage by opening doors gently instead of forcing them open. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you may have noticed opportunities, connections, or moments of peace appearing when you least expected them. And your heart needs this right now because those are not distractions from grief, they are invitations back into life. And listen carefully, because accepting joy does not erase loss, it balances it. And don't scroll, listen to this, because what they left behind is also a reminder that love is not limited to one form, one moment, or one lifetime. And your heart needs this right now because fear may whisper that loving again will betray what you lost. And listen to this truth: loving again honors the love you learned how to give through them. And don't scroll, listen to this, because soulmate energy does not disappear, it teaches, prepares, and opens the heart for deeper connection when the time is right. And your heart needs this right now because you are not meant to stay frozen in grief, you are meant to carry its lessons forward, and listen closely, because this message is not asking you to rush healing, it is reminding you that healing is already happening in subtle ways, in how you breathe, how you respond, how you choose yourself, and don't scroll, listen to this, because the universe measures healing differently than we do. It measures it in resilience, compassion, and trust returning. Slowly, and your heart needs this right now because trust may feel fragile, but it is growing, and listen carefully, because what they left behind is not a wound you must carry forever, it is a strength that will continue revealing itself as you keep moving forward, one step at a time, and don't scroll, listen to this, because this part ends not with finality, but with reassurance that you are not alone, not lost, not broken, and what was left behind is still walking with you, guiding you gently toward a life that honors love without being trapped by loss, and your heart needs this right now to know that the connection continues, not in pain, but in purpose, and that purpose will keep unfolding as you keep choosing to live, to love, and to trust again. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you. And if you've reached this point, your heart needs this right now because this is where the universe gently brings everything together, not with finality, but with grounding, and listen closely because what they left behind is no longer something you're trying to understand, it's something you are beginning to live with, and don't scroll, listen to this. Because there is a difference between carrying grief and being guided by love, and you are crossing that threshold now, even if you don't have words for it yet, and your heart needs this right now because lately you may have noticed a quiet steadiness inside you, not constant, not perfect, but present, and listen carefully, because that steadiness is not you getting over anything, it is you integrating everything, and don't scroll, listen to this, because when integration begins, the universe starts sending confirmations not to awaken you, but to reassure you, and those confirmations often come as divine numbers appearing at moments that feel deeply personal, and your heart needs this right now because if 1111 still shows up, it's no longer asking you to wish or hope, it's reminding you that alignment is already happening between who you are now and who you're becoming, and listen closely. Because 11 at this stage is recognition, not longing, and don't scroll, listen to this, because 222 may appear when you pause and wonder if it's okay to feel okay, and 222 is balance, the universe affirming that peace and grief can coexist, that you don't have to choose one or the other, and your heart needs this right now because you may have felt guilty for moments of calm. And listen to this truth. Calm is not betrayal, it is healing settling in, and don't scroll, listen to this, because 333 often appears when you feel supported without explanation, when something inside you says, keep going, and 333 is divine companionship, reassurance that you are not navigating this alone even though the physical presence is gone. And your heart needs this right now because companionship after loss feels different, quieter, but no less real, and listen carefully, because 444 has likely appeared during moments when you handled something difficult with more grace than you expected, and 444 is protection, confirmation that you are being held steady even when emotions rise and fall, and don't scroll, listen to this. Because protection does not mean shielding you from pain, it means strengthening you through it, and your heart needs this right now because you have become stronger without becoming hard, and listen closely, because 555 may show up when you reflect on how much your life perspective has changed, and 555 is transformation, the universe acknowledging that you are no longer the same person you were before this loss, and that change is not something to fear, it is something to respect. And don't scroll, listen to this, because transformation through grief often brings clarity, clarity about what you will no longer tolerate, what you will no longer postpone, and what you are no longer willing to lose time on. And your heart needs this right now because clarity is a gift, even when it comes through pain. And listen carefully, because 666 may appear when your mind drifts back into fear, questioning whether the signs mean anything or whether you're just trying to cope. And 666 is recalibration, the universe gently reminding you to bring your thoughts back into alignment with trust. And don't scroll, listen to this, because fear tries to make grief logical, but love exists beyond logic, and your heart needs this right now because love is what continues to guide you, not fear. And listen closely, because 777 is the number that has likely appeared during moments of deep peace, moments where you felt settled without needing answers. And 777 is divine confirmation, the universe saying that what mattered is secure, what was real is eternal, and what was shared cannot be undone by time. And don't scroll, listen to this, because 777 does not rush healing, it seals understanding. And your heart needs this right now because understanding brings rest. And listen carefully, because 888 may have appeared when you thought about purpose, legacy, or what you're meant to do with your life now. And 888 is continuation, abundance of meaning, reassurance that your story did not end with their passing, it expanded. And don't scroll, listen to this, because expansion can feel heavy when you're still carrying grief. And your heart needs this right now because expansion does not ask you to forget, it asks you to build forward with what you've learned. And listen closely, because 999 may show up when you feel ready to release some of the pain you've been holding tightly. And 999 is completion of suffering, not completion of love. And don't scroll, listen to this, because releasing suffering does not erase memory, it allows memory to exist without hurting you. And your heart needs this right now because you've been strong for a long time, and strength deserves relief. And listen carefully, because what they left behind is now showing itself as wisdom. Wisdom in how you love, how you listen, how you choose, how you protect your energy. And don't scroll, listen to this, because wisdom is love matured, not love lost. And your heart needs this right now because you may feel different from others around you, less interested in surface-level connections, more drawn to depth, honesty, and meaning. And listen closely, because that difference is not isolation, it's alignment. And don't scroll, listen to this, because soulmate-level connections leave behind a blueprint for how you recognize real love going forward, not as replacement, but as resonance. And your heart needs this right now because resonance feels familiar, safe, and grounding, not overwhelming, not chaotic. And listen carefully, because you may feel moments of gratitude mixed with sadness, and that combination is not confusion, it is integration. And don't scroll, listen to this, because integration means you are no longer fighting the loss. You are learning how to carry its lessons without being crushed by its weight. And your heart needs this right now because carrying does not mean suffering forever, it means honoring what shaped you. And listen closely, because what they left behind is also a reminder to live honestly, to speak love while you can, to choose presence over postponement. And don't scroll, listen to this, because grief sharpens awareness of time. And your heart needs this right now because awareness is what brings intention into your life. And listen carefully, because the universe is not asking you to move on, it is inviting you to move forward, forward with depth, compassion, and a heart that knows the cost of love and chooses it anyway. And don't scroll, listen to this, because choosing love again is not betrayal, it is bravery, and your heart needs this right now because bravery after loss is quiet, steady, and deeply meaningful. And listen closely, because this part ends not with an ending, but with grounding reassurance. Reassurance that what they left behind is not something you have to search for anymore, it is already woven into how you see the world, how you love others, and how you carry yourself through life. And don't scroll, listen to this, because you are not lost, you are aligned, not broken, but transformed, and your heart needs this right now to know that the connection continues, not as pain, but as purpose, not as absence, but as guidance, and that guidance will keep revealing itself through timing, intuition, and gentle signs as you keep choosing to live, to love, and to trust again, one step, one breath, one divine confirmation at a time.